What's going on, everyone? Gilman with Live Wealthy Stocks, back with another video taking a look at Tesla stock, how it traded this past week, some key support and resistance levels that we're looking out for, and based on that, what the future of the stock could look like. So real quick, if you enjoyed these videos, hit that like button and subscribe to my channel. I really appreciate each and every one of you guys, and comment down below what your thoughts on Tesla are as we move forward with this week. Now remember, this is a pretty big week for Tesla because we are going to be included into the S&P 500 a week from tomorrow on the 21st. So this is kind of the last week of all the buying that's supposed to come in related to the S&P 500. So, we'll kind of see what impact that could have, right? Hopefully a lot of volume driving the stock price up. So let me hit record. We will get right into the video. So what I have here is a 5-day chart kind of recapping this past week. So we'll take a look at that, and then we'll take a look from a daily and a 4-hour perspective and do a quick technical analysis on, what future levels of support and resistance look like. So starting from Monday, right, this is from 12/7 to 12/11. Starting from Monday, what we see is we started in kind of the low 600s, and Monday was a great day. We pushed up. After hours, we saw it go as high as 669. That's kind of what we were talking about, right? We were in the 650s, at 700 coming next. And then the next day, right, we saw a little bit of a gap down, and then pushed up again to kind of the previous day, a little bit higher in the 650s. We're trading fine until Wednesday, and Wednesday we saw a pretty big sell-off. Some of that was because of that, JP Morgan price target, I'm assuming, but a lot of that was just kind of the market selling off, right? So I'll take a look at the S&P 500, see that same sell-off, 12.9, right? So huge sell-off, S&P dropped from 370 to 366. I can go to Apple and, we see a similar drop. So it wasn't necessarily Tesla selling off as much as the entire market selling off. So sure, Tesla stock went down, but so did the entire market, which, kind of is a good thing for me at least, right? It's not something that's specific to Tesla stock. Come Thursday, we went up from kind of 566 to, again, back in the 600, 625. And then this line that I had drawn for us a little bit before held up as a resistance, but also as a support in after hours. And then Friday, we saw another red day, with shares dropping and touching that 600 point before kind of settling down in the 610s. After hours, we were down a little bit more. So Friday was kind of a red day. Made a video on that as well, right? So let's take a look at the daily chart and what we see from that, right? So Tesla, as I'm sure all of you guys know, has had a wild run this year. Not only from the beginning of the year, trading in kind of the 50s last year, and then this year trading, at $70 at the lowest point of the pandemic to going almost at 700, right? Hitting 650s, 660s after hours. So great run for Apple, and especially, the past few weeks after this inclusion news in the S&P 500 in mid-October, or excuse me, in mid-November, it's pushed up and really kind of taken off, gone from $400 in a couple weeks to, 600 and plus, right? Almost hitting 660s there. So this is the two lines that we had initially drawn, right? This top line was kind of acting as a resistance point. The bottom was acting as support until about 2 trading days ago when we broke out of this. And now, taking a look at that wick right there, it's acted as a resistance point. So that's the first level I'm watching, right? In the 620s, which tomorrow's level should be kind of in the mid 630s. That line should move up. So do we find resistance or not there? But from a technical analysis perspective, right, we've also got the AEMA as well as other EMAs coming in. As we see, since this run has started, we have not really dropped below the AEMA. We have dropped below it, but we haven't closed below it. I'll just say that, right? So this time we dropped below it, we went up. This time we dropped, closed up. This candle, when we were below, we closed above the AEMA, and then especially Friday, even though we had a red candle, we closed above it. So that AEMA comes in at 607. That's a key level that I'm watching to make sure that we stay above that AEMA on the daily chart. The next we have is the 21 EMA coming in at 558. What I like looking at more though is the 4-hour chart for Tesla, and this kind of tells a slightly different story, right? The AEMA is actually at 611, which is where we are right now, but we're kind of under it right now, right? In the daily chart, we're kind of over it, so it's a matter of maintaining it. Here, it's a matter of overtaking it. And then if you see all the EMAs here, right? Tesla, all of them are pretty close to each other, so we've got the 611. We've got 611 in the 8 EMA, 612 in the 21 EMA, 606 in the 34 EMA, and then the 55 EMA all the way down at 591. So I think if we drop right, first and foremost, right, that 8 EMA is a little bit below, so we should see support there. 600 should be a mental support like it was on Friday. And then, you know, if we drop below that, then we've got the 55 EMA at 591. But my ideal situation would be for Tesla stock to overcome these EMAs and trade on top of these EMAs, right? And use this EMAs as a level of support, which I definitely think that it has the potential of doing. As we can see, you know, going back, to just early on in the week, 12.7, we can see that 8 EMA was holding up as good support on the 4-hour chart right here after hours. When we dipped below it, we dipped at one point even below the 55 EMA, but you know, Tesla stock is strong enough that it always comes up and finds good support there. And then as we could see here, right, the low point here was 596, which, I mean, it's riding kind of this EMA right here going all the way across. So great looking chart for Tesla. A lot of the selling pressure, like I mentioned, was more to do with the market selling off rather than Tesla selling off, which is definitely a great sign. Now, in terms of what we are looking at from a next level of support and resistance from a price action perspective, like I said, right, we have made a higher low, but also a lower high on Friday from Thursday. So I'm watching both the high and the low of that day as a level of support and resistance. So from a low perspective, that comes in right at 596, which kind of aligns with our 55 EMA that we just saw on the 4-hour chart. So let me go get that number for you guys in the 590s, right? So 590s and 596. Tesla is, I mean, it moves around a lot. So you know, between those two numbers, as well as 600 being a mental resistance, and then the low point of the day before at 566. If for some reason we see a crazy amount of weakness in Tesla stock or in the overall market and we see some huge sell-off, we could visit these levels again. Moving up, you know, similar story where we've got the high of 624, kind of aligning with this line, right? So I'm watching that 624, but I'm more so watching kind of this line tomorrow and seeing what that line comes in at, which I think would be in the mid 630s. That would be kind of the level that I'm looking for Tesla to knock out, right? My expectations in this week is that there's a lot of buying happening. I would like for Tesla to kind of go at that 630s, boom, break through 650 next. Which kind of takes us to the high of, you know, 2 days ago at 654. That's the next level that I'm sort of watching. 650 being a mental resistance level, but 650. But I'm not expecting all of that to happen necessarily on Monday. I think this will be kind of spread out over the course of the week. And if all goes well, then we could see, you know, 680s to 700 by the end of the week. A lot has to happen, you know, for that to happen. You know, volume, people not selling out. We don't get some updates from, you know, these banks that are looking to scare people, so, you know, people sell off and maybe they could buy in cheaper, right? Because you have to understand, this Friday is the last trading day before the S&P inclusion, and so if Tesla's trading at $700, they have to buy in at $700 if they haven't already bought. Now that's a big assumption we're making as well, is a lot of these, you know, big banks and big, you know, financial institutions that track the S&P 500 that have these mutual funds and such are going to have to buy Tesla. They haven't bought it already. They could have already bought a lot of, you know, Tesla shares, but my understanding or my sort of thought is, you know, there's still a decent amount of buying left to be done this week, which hopefully pushes the Tesla stock up. So that's that point, right? Hopefully, if it's a green day tomorrow, we've got that high of kind of 624, 627 from the past 2 days, as well as this line in the 630s. Push that, take that out, 650s. Go down, 8 EMA at 607. Hopefully we can find support there. It's not really going down though because we're already there, 607.55. 8 EMA 607.35, 600, and then we've got some other EMAs that I mentioned before, as well as the low on 566 if we see crazy selling pressure. Now I've shared this with you guys from the past couple of days as well, but another thing that I'm watching for on Tesla stock is this 15 EMA on the 4-hour chart and the 180-day SMA on the 4-hour chart. Now, the reason I'm watching this, if you've already seen this, I'm just going to point it out for someone who hasn't. The last time we went below this 15 EMA, which is this line you see here on top, and broke below, we fell from 470s all the way to the mid 300s, and then it happened again in, let's see, mid-September, kind of mid to third week of September, where we fell from 430s all the way down to 371. Now the difference between last time and this time is that, you know, we've got the S&P inclusion news this week, right? So that's different than last time. So even if we're below this, and I think a lot of that buying will keep the stock from falling to the 180-day SMA. I don't think the stock will fall to the 180-day SMA, but it's something that I wanted you guys to know and be able to see yourself. So we've got that level right now, right at 614. We're trading in the 608s, I believe, right? That's what I said. Oh, 607.55 in the after hours. So we're trading below that. That 15 EMA could also be a level of resistance, but I'm really looking for the stock to capture that, and hopefully we don't see a sell-off coming. That 180-day SMA comes in at 491. Again, don't think the Tesla stock is going to fall that much, but it has the past 2 times, so that's what I wanted to bring to your attention. I think there's a lot of buying happening this week, and if all else stays equal, right, markets are fine, looking up, then I think we could see Tesla pushing up this week. But, you know, that being said, I like looking at the technicals to kind of back that theory as well. Yeah, I don't want to just say Tesla's going to go up, buy calls, go all in, right? Because if Tesla starts breaking technical levels, then, you know, I'm looking to potentially, you know, trade accordingly, if you will. But I definitely do think that it has a lot of potential, and I think after the S&P 500 we could see a little bit of selling, right, for those that are holding. If we see a run up this week, especially for those that are kind of up from that, but I do think that Tesla stock will start to settle down and hopefully be a good long-term investment rather than it being this, you know, up and down swing. Yeah, that's all I had for you guys today. Hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, drop a like and subscribe to my channel. I try to do videos on Tesla and Apple on a daily basis, as well as other stocks that I'm looking at and interested in, and stocks commented by you guys. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Thank you for the continued support. Let's remember to be a bit better every single day, and until next time.